Ladies and gentlemen, it's your nephew, Willie Moore Jr., and I'm so thankful for this moment in time because, as promised, I've been teasing it the entire show that I get an opportunity to hang out with the President of the United States of America. The one and only Joe Biden is hanging out with us. Come on, crowd, make some noise. Come on, y'all, make some noise. He's here with us today, and we're thankful to have you, man. How have you been?
I've been fine, but I'm a little worried about this election. We got to get out and vote to make sure the progress we made, particularly in the African-American communities, is sustained because these guys want to wipe it out.
No,
so it's a big deal.
Yeah, you know what? I'm excited to have you here, man, to talk about that. You know, back in, I want to say 2008, of course, I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and my son at that time, he's now a sophomore at the University of Mississippi, doing really, really well. But at that time, he was in second grade. He was at this school called City Academy, and he came home from school, and he said, "You know who came to our school?" I said, "Who came to our school? Who came to your school?" He said, "Joe Biden came to our school," and he told us.
I did go to school. I forgot all about that.
Yep, you came, and it changed his life forever. You were able to talk about endless possibilities that they had, and now he's on the dean's list at the University of Mississippi, and that's one of the importance of the campaign trail. Yeah, man, you did really good on that campaign trail. I want to talk to you a little bit, just real quick. You know, initially you committed to making good on promises that are the top priorities for black communities. You know, whether that was student loan debts, nominating the first black woman to the Supreme Court. Now that we're nearly 2 years into your presidency, what have you done that you can really point out? And Joe, I want to tell you, listen, my audience, they love it when we kind of bring it down to the level that everybody can hear.
Number one, we made it easier for people who went to college, who acquired a debt going to college, to be able to pay it off by I've forgiven $20,000 in student loans to get people out of the hole so they could start to put their lives together, to start businesses, to be able to do things that really matter. And that's $10,000 debt relief for eligible borrowers, and then another 10 for anybody who received a Pell Grant to get to school. And that's 71% of the African American undergraduates received a Pell Grant.
Yeah.
So they got a $20,000 reduction in their debt. In addition to that, we're in a situation that we have provided for. I kept the promise that we'd put a black woman on the Supreme Court, and we got one of the brightest members of the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is incredible. She's on the court. I also said I was going to make the court look more representative. So now we've appointed more African American women to the appellate courts of the federal court. That is right below the Supreme Court nationally, than every other president combined in American history. I told you I was going to help HBCUs also provide for the best education they could possibly do. They just don't have the endowments that other universities have. So they're not in a position to build the laboratories and all these stations where, that in fact colleges with big endowments have. And so what happened is I provided for nearly $6 billion to historically black universities. I appointed HBCU board of advisors to help the HBCUs and provide the resource of highest quality education. My friend Tony Allen, president of Delaware State University, is the chair of that. We worked on voting rights. I believe we have to vote. It's the core of this democracy. And I prioritized that issue from day one, calling for the passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom Vote Act. I'm doing everything I can in my power to get that done. Yeah. Because, look, but there's so much that we've done. We've also provided for, there's unemployment among African Americans as low as it's been in history. We're also in a situation where we provided for the opportunity for people to start businesses and get home down payments. The reason most middle-class folks acquired any wealth is because of the equity in their homes. And so there's just a lot we were able to do, including we need cops in black communities. They're the ones victimized the most. But we also need strict rules on the use of force. We need to be able to work in a position where we provide them with social workers that are part of the police department to help out. I mean, there's a lot we can do, and we're doing.
Indeed.
And lastly, I'd say that I said I was going to make sure my administration looked like the rest of the world. the rest of the country. But we have members of the black community who are cabinet members. We have a significant number of African Americans who work in my administration, I think, as much or more than any administration in history. And I guess the thing I'm proudest of in the courts is Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yeah.
She is smarter than most of them, everybody on that court.
Look, probably smarter than everybody in the world at this point. This woman is amazing.
No, she really is.
Yeah.
Not a joke. I said I was going to get the most qualified person I could find. She's as qualified as any person ever appointed to the Supreme Court. That's not a joke.